is Tall, and I am a Draco Zeta starseed and experiencer, contactee. I'm just going to talk a little bit today about what it's like having a shared consciousness with a non-human, with an extraterrestrial, if you want. Actually, this being lives in the ground, so it's a little bit different, but it's the same thing. It's my understanding is basically exactly the same thing as spirit contact. If you can talk to a deceased relative, you can talk to a deceased relative that happens to be in a different type of a body, whether they were previously in a human body or if they were in some other higher dimensional form, spirit body, light body, orb, and then all of the various different types of three-dimensional bodies that are necessary to experience whatever environment one has, for whatever reason, chosen to be in, incarnate into, in other words. Um, my own relationship with Ra is this is my non-human entity who have the closest contact with. We're actually twins of a spirit kind. From my understanding, there are various different, there's not only one form and one type of spirit, there are many different types. Some are like a twin, some are multiple, some are completely unimaginable things. This was something that I was told, I wasn't completely aware of at all, but I believe it to be true. It certainly makes sense. At many times during my life, before really my big awakening period, it was like I knew that I had what they call a doppelganger, this type of an idea. And I saw this being many times, and I didn't think she was very nice, but it was always a slightly ominous thing. And then you read things about that, and it becomes whatever you take in, and that's what manifests. So, but I was always aware of having like another self. I fully understand that that is what many would say the definition of schizophrenia. However, I'm not schizophrenic, okay? And neither, it's the idea of we're not only one being, we're not only in one reality. So anyway, back to what I am wanting to talk about is shared reality. The idea that my spirit is so close with this other being, and it's through various implants I have. Some are spiritual implants, and they have mine as well. I can go into their reality, they can come into my reality. We work seamlessly together. We talk through each other. I'm aware when I'm able to engage in it. I'm aware of what is going on in this world. I can see the things that they're working on, and that's something I really want to address. Also, is that there is absolutely no reason or danger to this being by my talking about this. There was someone who had mentioned on a page of mine one time when I was speaking about this sort of thing that disclosure equals betrayal. I don't believe so. No, there's no secrets really. The idea this is from this government thing again. This isn't the true reality of what's actually going on. Not down there anyway, and not anywhere. They just want to scare you and make you think that it is. But back to what I'm talking about, the beginning of, we were supposed to incarnate into the same body. So, in many ways, my story is like a splintered soul kind of a journey. And yes, it is. It's a fragmented soul. If that is a split mind, it is. Whatever it is. I think that many people have this sort of and constant aching at some point, and from childhood, like something is terribly, terribly, terribly wrong and missing in my life, and this being that I have been always has been there for me always, who used to help me fall asleep and rub my arms and help me sleep as a child and comfort me and call my name and make their presence known over and over and over. It's very beautiful. It's nothing frightening. what when we did basically the past incarnational story, from the point that I understand it, begins where I was we were going to incarnate. I did not, for various different reasons that I don't really want to discuss too much into, but I decided I did not want to incarnate into that body that I had chosen. I wanted to be in another body. I had different things that I thought were beautiful. And so at this point we separated and had two different incarnations. Uh, from that point, it's kind of like I he would visit me as a ghost. Very much the same parallel, exactly so much so with this life that I've had, where I've had spirits from the time I was a child. This lifetime was that same thing. It was really remarkable the way that the memory was released through something that was like a very fast playing picture. I asked a question that was basically who was I before? What's so special about me? Why are we in why did you pick me? But that wasn't really even relevant at all. That was just my questions that I had at that time, trying to find out, why me, basically. And the answer was it was that this had always been, this was our life together. We're twins, and we've always been like on this up and separation, trying to reunite path sort of thing. And it's beautiful knowing that there's like someone out there that's not me, but that is me, connected. Anyway, it's a different kind of understanding, and I think that the idea of a collective being and the collective reality is also very this is what I'm basically talking about, is being myself, but also being this person, although we're not the same person. I know it's confusing. I still don't completely have it. It's anyway. Um, the beginning of that story, and we were on two completely different planets and timelines, and eventually we were able, through the marvels of transportation, interdimensional transportation, we were able to connect first as spirits and then physically again. It's a really beautiful story, and that's my long story about. This was when I talk about the exoplanet of Thuban, that I was basically a fruit farmer. We were forced laborers. We had to farm this specific type of fruit that had amazing benefits, and it was beloved by everybody. Everybody, I don't want to talk about angels again, because I don't want to be the one and only person that ever says that, yes, I had a negative experience with angels. I don't want to go there with that. I'm not prejudiced. What misunderstandings I had in the past were, but we were forced to work for these beings, and it was an unfair situation because of the water issue. We were relocated. There was some kind of war that was lost, and this was the agreement. My people in that era were very we were kind of naive, very much, I thought that was a beautiful life, but it was very sad too, very very sad. Isolated, strong, working people, uh, very country, very similar. I mean, this is really a parallel to Earth in so many different ways, on more than one ways, and I think that it's not accidental. There's actually a reason. The and it might have to do with the lack of telepathic ability, which is something that in that life we didn't have naturally. It could be developed, and later on when we got into our basically what happened was Ra had an encounter where he was piloting, and he was taken out of he was in a reptile body. He was taken out of his vehicle into another dimension, and he met what were like two alternating bands of light. We call them the serpents, or the light serpents. We never quite understood what they were in that life, but it was something that I think they were us in the future trying to, help. Come on, you guys. It was we'd gotten into some different situations with the, when I talk about the water technology that was stolen, the stolen device. Um, it, it's it was a compromising situation. It wasn't ideal. But so anyway, back to he was taken out of his ship and met these beings, and they spoke to him, and they did healing on him, and they he was also blind for a while after this, but we became priestess and priest of this serpents, the twin serpents, and this is what the Twin Serpent Oracle is all about. It's my understanding is that this is basically the lineage, the DNA, the strings, the matter that is connected with all of us, but that is coming from a higher, purer source, which is ultimately the only source that anybody can go to my belief anyway. Um, it's how we go home, who we are. I would also I should address we were not negative beings, by the way. We innocent, naive, because of the lack of telepathy, but we were not negative beings whatsoever. Um, but back to the encounter with the light serpents. We went through a shock and a horror. I At the same moment when he was taken, I had like a translation of my own, and it was related to music. It was I was playing a type of flute-like instrument. We were very musical, and suddenly I felt myself becoming matter, becoming the mother, becoming all of creation, everything, and having absolutely no fear and perfect, absolute love for everyone. And this music was pouring out, and these were the strings of the mother. But I experienced in a different way, where with Ra, it was very traumatic and frightening, and he, light blinded and had surgery and was terrified. We eventually, in the beginning, we replicated the different formulas. How do we reproduce that result again? That was amazing. He was given certain things to do, certain practices, and we would be able to hear them. We could sing to them, and then we could hear them again, and they would give us instruction. This was when we came forward among my people, which I call the water dragons. Um, they fell in love with this. Some thought we had lost our minds, of course, but we had completely. But the they loved this. They loved this, and they embraced this. And I was shown visions where the people they would make clothes for us that were so beautiful, and they honored us in this way because this strange experience that we had, and that we devoted our life to this. For the most part, we also did, when I talk about the water fruit and all of this brought a great deal of trouble at another time. But the the idea of these strings of mother that connect all of us, that are what we are, that is matter, that has basically light moving through it. This is the best way that I can explain the light serpents at this point. And to be the speaking voice is it's a mystery. But this is what I'm doing here. I should mention I'm not comfortable speaking in public, but I'm in the process of a massive transformation, and doing it. Here we go. So I'm going to read something from my blog, and this is one of the channeled messages from the light serpents. Peaceful, happy, content, oneness with each other. This is the way our beloved serpents teach us. We begin with song. The practice opens our hearts, throats, and brings us into an open, active participation. We are aware, we are in the mother, and we can move with and within her. The most powerful state to be is one with awareness. Who can bring healing from within the mother? The serpents are and are us, the cords that connect and run through all of matter. We can energize these cords simply by being aware that we can and allowing Father Light energy to dance upon and within the strings. In a metaphor, as one plays a musical instrument, we can bring healing and connection to others in this manner as well. The practice is song, and the blessing of water and healing follows. And I'm in the process of recovering this, and I'm sharing this with the world. And I would encourage anybody who is, watching this, that each and every one of you has a gift, and embrace it, live it, be it. This is everything. Time is very short. Thank you for listening.